Hello friends, welcome to our channel Sukun FM English. We are here to listen story Secret Son-in-Law Shadow King. Friends, if you visit the channel first time, please subscribe our channel and press the bell icon also. Today we listen episode number 63 of Secret Son-in-Law Shadow King story. Let's begin the story. Seeing him stared at him like this. Samar waved his hand and said, "Now go away from here and don't be to interfere in my matters in future without coming about it," he said to himself. "I am not going to take my leave. Want to be sit. Now No had a lot of work to do. The responsibility of the project between Agarwal Industry and Kapoor Group of Industries was completely on Samar. He had to prepare the documents of the contract between two companies. He could not spend time like this with Arun. Seeing Samar concentrating on his work, Varun got furious. He said to himself, "Samar, you dare to insult me? I will never forgive you for this." It was work time, so all he could do was got angry. Then he returned to his seat and started work. However, Varun was not able to concentrate the whole day and kept thinking about how he could get rid of Summer. A selfish man like him was very pity. He was secretly jealous of others, but he was not ready to accept that he himself was one of who messed with Summer first. He was the one who insulted Summer first. Meanwhile, Samar was sitting at the desk preparing the document of the project to be done with Kapoor Group of Industry when Prachi come to him and said to Samar, "Samar, CEO ma'am wants me to tell you that you have to work Kapoor Group of Industry and have a meeting with their CEO of the project to be done with them." Samar was a little surprised and asked, "Prachi, do I have to go to Kapoor Group of Industry right now?" He had not prepared the proper document yet, so he was asking Prachi like this. Prachi said in a slightly stern voice, "Yes, CEO ma'am had said this. Hurry up. CEO ma'am has said that you have to complete this work today. You will get a good reward for this work. You will get it. But if you become successful, you will not have even get the mile of the heart." Samar smiled softly and said, "Prachi, tell the CEO, consider the work done. Kapoor Group of Industry will have to listen to me." Saying this, she left with her document and jewelry. The samples were placed in a handle bag and walked out of the sales department. While going out, he muttered, "Yes, I will definitely complete this task for you. I will." Saying this, he smiled and walked out of the Agarwal Industry building. He stopped a taxi and headed towards the Kapoor Group of Industry. After half an hour, he reached Kapoor Group of Industry. He got down from the taxi and went straight to the enter the building and went to the receptionist standing in front of him and smiled. He said, "Hello, Jyoti. How are you? We have not met for a long time. Did you not remember me?" The girl sitting behind the reception's desk was wearing a light blue colored polychrome skirt, which matched her beautiful face and looked very pretty. Summer remembered that last time when he came to meet Payal, this same girl had come to receive him. When Robin wanted to harass him, this girl asked him to leave and wanted to save Summer from Robin. She was a sweet and beautiful girl. Seeing Summer, the receptionist's beautiful face changed. She felt fear in her heart, a sign come out of mouth due to fear and said, softly. Ah, this is you. She clearly remembered that last time if was the same man who had killed Robbins and one of the three security guards. He was a violent man, so she was a little scared. Summer was stunned to see the fear on that girl's face. He was a little surprised, she asked. He asked, Miss, are you afraid of me? While saying this, he thought to himself, I am a good looking guy. What is there to be afraid of? The girl immediately panicked and said, I will not talk to you. She was saying that he did not feel like it, but his worried face said something else. She was very scared of this handsome boy standing in front of her, but she was completely trying to control her fear. Her face was scarred and said, Samar shook his head and come straight to the point and said, Miss, I am here to meet Payal. Is she there? He didn't notice this woman. He was afraid that if he joked anymore, the innocent girl was burst into tears. The girl said nervously, The chairperson is in office. You can go and meet him. Samar waved his hand and said, I'm tired and bye. When he returned, he met head Robin of the security department. Samar seeing this, Robin's face changed and he was so scared that he turned and ran away, just like a mouse run after seeing a cat. He was afraid that Samar would beat him again. Ankita, standing nearby, kept shaking her hand and was saying, Yes, you are crying. But Samar ignored at this and went to Payal's office. Seeing his walking like this, Ankita heaved a sigh of relief and said in a relieved voice, Thank you. Then Ankita, after thinking a bit, said to himself, How will I die? If he is a boy, then there will be a lot of trouble. Meanwhile, Samar reached outside the Payal office. He knocked the door 3 times and opened the door and went inside. He saw that the office was very grand from inside. Seeing the design, Summer praised it and said, Wow, what a great design! All the walls of the office were made of crystals, and so were the chandeliers. Even the office desk was silver white. Pyle smiled innocently while seeing Summer coming to the office. She said, Oh, Mr. Summer, you are here? I am waiting for you. And she pulled her body up so that her beautiful curves were visible. Summer looked at her from head to toe and praised her honestly and said, Miss Payal, today you look even more beautiful than before. He thought Payal was exceptionally beautiful. Her face was fair and her lips were red. Her eyes were deep like water. Her skin was glowing as her finger was beautiful. She was attractive, have a sensually and looked very alluring. She wore a leg long dress which further enhanced her beautiful figure. Below were her snow-like white legs. Her beautiful feet was wearing red color high heels shoes. It was a charming and alluring red. Though the receptionist girl were beautiful, she was nothing but dust in front of Payal. Summer smiled softly and said flutteringly, Miss Payal, you look really beautiful today. I feel I will faint looking at your beauty. As it is said, complimenting someone can never be wrong. Girls love to hear compliments that they are beautiful, no matter how smart they are. He had come to discuss the project with Payal. So he was trying to create a little tensions in atmosphere so that Payal could sign the projects on its terms. Payal smiled innocently and said, "You are very talking very smartly. Looks like you had rice for breakfast this morning." She had very friendly and happy with Samar. She was feeling very good. She was in a very good mood. Samar again praised her, said, "Miss Payal, look at yourself. Fair and pink skin, beautiful smile, eyes as deep as a lake. You are truly a natural beauty. My heart started beating faster when I saw you." Payal was very satisfying after hearing his praise. Payal praised him in an amazing way. I looked at him and said in a sensual tone, "You are very sweet too." Summer saw the opportunity that Pyle is very happy, so he immediately come to the point and said, "Miss Pyle, I have come here to discuss with you our new project plan. Here is the contract. You can see it." Saying this, he handed over the contract file to her, took it to place in front of the Pyle. Pyle read the contract carefully and looked into Summer's eyes and said, "No, I don't accept this contract. Our industry wants 90% of the revenue and the remaining 10% of yours." When it come to the business, Pyle reverted to her iron fist identity. She came and straight away demanding a big share of the profit. Shocking, she was very greedy. While hearing his words, Summer frowned and pursed her lips, feeling dissatisfied. Summer was asked to sign the deal at 50-50, but now Pyle is 90%. She wanted it. Naturally, he could not sign it like that. This was the first time he was doing something for his wife he couldn't mess it up with. Besides, the group of the people in the sales department always laughed at him. This time, he had to complete the project with Pyle and bring more profit to the company and prove myself in front of people in the sales department. Someone nods his hand and no, rejecting Pyle's great demand. He said, "Miss Pyle, forgive me for my frankness, but I will ask you for the profit. This is too much. We can give you 50% at the most." He thought that it would be good to talk to Payal and establish contact with her, and Payal would cooperate with him properly. He did not expect that Payal would be so ambitious. No wonder Payal has become the chairperson of an industry worth more than 10 billion at such a young age. With her little appetite, it was not difficult to succeed. Payal smiled casually and said, "Nothing. I get 90% of the profit. You must, otherwise, I will refuse to do project with you." Summer made a little face and a little disappointment was seen in his eyes. He became disappointed. He then said in a slightly stern voice, "Miss Payal, you are trying to usurp the rights of the company, which is already dead. You have disappointed me." He thought that he and Payal were friends and she would agree to do a project on 50-50 basis. He did not know that she wanted 90% of the profit. If she had agreed, it was fine in Agarwal Industries would have made a profit, but it could have incurred a huge loss. Samar knew that Agarwal industry was facing a genetic crisis. If its no solutions in found soon, the company will go bankrupt in a few days. Now, young masters, Shan and the other three families not work with the Agarwal industry. Whatever Payal did would undoubtedly put the Agarwal industry in a great danger and he will never be able to recover from this. Pyle smiled cunningly and said, "If you want 50% of the profit, I am ready to work for 50, but you have to promise me something." He said, had asked for 90% of the product only because I wanted to fulfill my demands from Samar. Samar said in a low voice, Miss Payal, tell me the whole story. What do you want from me? Payal smiling casually and said, it is very easy. You just have to be at my best. If you agree, then I am ready to do this deal with you on 50-50 basis. Actually, Payal only wanted to have relationship with Samar. Samar was very confused. He was in a state in a shock and was unable to speak. After all this, Payal did not want 90% of the profit, but he wanted to be the best position. He knew the best friend meant. She basically wanted to be his girlfriend. Payal wants to become my penis. Does she like means wanted to seduce me? Is it? Thought Summer, feeling a little naughty. Summer asked softly, Miss Payal, do you want to be my best friend or my best friend? Do you want to seduce me? Summer's face became a little cooked and suddenly understand the cunning fox finally revealed his intentions. Payal was surprised and said to herself, what did you say? I want to seduce you. Her eyelids were flirting up and down. She really wanted to kick this boy. She looked at Summer angrily and said to herself, don't be so narcissist. I just wanted to give you your best gift. I don't expect you to take it with the wrong way. Now Pyle had tagged Summer with narcissist. Pyle rolled her eyes and said, don't be so smug. I am just your best friend. I want to be a man and I don't mean to seduce you. She was speechless. She was unaware of the narcissism of. Summer agrees to let Pyle become his best friend for the good of the company. He said, okay, best friend, I am ready to become the best guy. Are you ready to become the best guy now? Can you do this project with instinct at 50%? Saying this, Summer immediately applies to Kiara's saying, I am sorry, it is my mistake. It was all for good for the company. If I had not agreed to be her best friend, she would never have signed a project with on 50-50. For the benefit of the company, I sacrifice my moral integrity. I believe that. You will understand this very well. He knew that Kiara did not like his and Payal antics at all. But it was his compulsion. This is why he had to accept Payal's words. Hearing Payal say yes to Summer, a smile appeared on her beautiful face, said happily, okay, since I am your best friend, naturally I will help you in every work. The contract will be signed on your terms only. She knew that she had developed a close relationship with the boy in front of her, which made her a little sad and surprised because this boy had just started doubting her it was done. Pyle smiled coldly. Surprising the hum in the heart, she took the contract and signed, then put the company's seal on it. The contract became officially valid. Summer picked up the contract file and said, thank you, Miss Pyle. He replied after doing his got ready to go. Then Pyle stopped him and said, wait, I am doing my best. Summer furrowed his eyebrows and asked, what happened? Pyle smiled charmingly and said, this is the first day of our meeting. In case of not being in the best position, should you do something? There was confusion on Summer's face. He could not understand what Pyle wanted. He was irritable. What do you want me to do now? He had just finished talking to Payal. Naturally, he quickly returned without wasting time. Payal looked at Samar and said with a smile, I had just such a big deal with you. I have my side. You can at least give me a lunch ticket. She said this to admire. She was blinking her eyes and looking very attractive. Summer looked slowly at Payal and said smugly, Miss Payal, I think you are trying to advantage of me under this project. Payal's face turned red and she shouted in anger. You fool! Who will take advantage of you? He wanted to pick up me. Obviously, Summer words has made him very angry. That Kapoor was the chairperson of the Kapoor Group of Industry, Indore's city's number one beauty queen. But now a young man is unexpectedly flirting with her. Of course, no one in Indore city dared to flirt with her. Summer was the first. This made her feel isolated, surprised, and humiliated. Summer consoled Pyle and said, Don't get angry. Girls looks beautiful when they get angry. I am coming. Let's go. I will take you for lunch. Pyle laughed after hearing his words first. Pyle smiled charmingly and said, Okay, let's go, but I will tell you. Yes, I want to eat pasta and steak. She wanted to spend some of more time with Summer and Summer's money. Summer nodded in agreement and said, Okay, eat whatever you want to eat. Now, let's go. Saying this, he smiled and walked out with her. It was 12 noon, just in lunch time. In the parking lot, Summer saw a well maintained white service car praised it worshipfully and said, Payal, your car was very nice. Talking about her beloved car, Payal smiled charmingly and said, Of course, it is the limited editions model of Maserati. Only one and only in the whole world. Her face was full of hate. Pyle was very fond of cars, especially the color and designs of Maserati. Pointing towards the car, Summer said, Pyle, will you drive the car or I will drive it? Pyle smiled and said, Of course you will drive. Summer immediately opened the door and said, Okay, accepting his yes. Pyle took out the car keys and gave him the keys. Summer to smiling like a gentleman, unlocked the car and opened the door, gave him the keys, made Payal sit on his next to me, and also sat on the drive seat and started the car and moved ahead. While taking the car out of the parking, Samar asked Payal, Yes, Payal, tell me which restaurant are you going to? Payal smiled casually and said, Let's go to the Valentine restaurant. What Valentine restaurant? It was a lovers restaurant where the couple often ate. Summer frowned softly and said to Payal, You are very perverted girl. I you want to seduce me. Payal said with some anger. You are a perverted boy. Don't be so self-absorbed. We have here. You are going because the pasta and steaks there is delicious. It will entire you. What does it matter? She was feeling very strange. She was completely impressed by Summer narcissism. She suddenly felt remorseful. If she had known that he was self absorbed, she would not have made this boy her friend at all. She could have trusted him a little better. Of course, Payal did not know that she had done wrong with Summer because he was handsome and attractive, and if it were ancient times, its beauty would certainly have impressed everywhere. This would create a problem for the kingdom in which he was the king. was busy making of her own instead of paying attention to his duties and work. After 10 minutes, Summer and Pyle reached Valentine restaurant. The restaurant has for 5 floors. There was a luxurious bed and a rose painted on the door. It was drowned in love and I was like a friend. They were going to the restaurants holding hands. Summer and Pyle entered the restaurant and sat a table. As soon as they sat down, a beautiful lady came to the holding a menu and said smilingly, "Hello, sir. Hello, ma'am. Omar, please." Summer looked the menu and said, "Let me see." It was slowing interested, so he decided what to order. Summer smiled slightly and said to the server, "To serve pasta, 2 medium steak, and 2 bottles of wine." The server smiles and said, "Okay, sir. How would you like to pay the bill?" Summer took out of his bank card and gave it to the dealer and said, "I will pay with the account." Taking the job of the captain replied, "Please, sir, let me wait for you only." Summer smiled softly at the date and turned back and whispered, "In all of these two, the boy is paying the bill. Looks like the girl is driving the boy crazy for his money with this beauty." The voice of the beautiful text was low, but Summer still heard it. He smiled and said to Payal, "Payal, do you know what the dates just said?" Confused, Payal asked, "What did he say?" "I didn't hear anything," Summer said in a slightly joking tone. "She said you are driving me crazy for money doing." Payal was very angry with Summer and Cruel's behavior. She stayed angry at Summer and said, "What is this? I suppose you will die only after getting beaten up by me." She raised her small hand and got ready to teach him lessons by punching him. When Payal raised her hand, she attracted the attentions of men towards herself. After a moment, the lady placed the pasta stick, read me on the table, and said with a smile, "Sir, ma'am, this is your order. Please enjoy it." Summer said, "Thank you," and started eating with Payal. When both of them started eating, a pale looking middle aged man wearing a suit and collar, the man came to Payal and asked with a smile, "Hello, Miss Payal. Can I sit here?" He saw that Payal and Summer were fighting, and Payal wanted to punch Summer. Seeing this, he thought that his relationship is about to break soon. The girl, she was beautiful, and that naturally he wanted to be friends with her. What was happen in the next? Stay tuned with Sukun FM English. Friends, if you enjoy the story, please like the story, share the story with your friends, and comment in below comment section.